Okay, I'm going to show you how to do a Lewis structure for an ion. So step one, add up the valence electrons. So nitrogen's in group 5A, so it has 5. Okay, hydrogen has 1 because it's in group 1A, but there's 4 of them, so that's 4. Now, with an ion, you got to take into account the charge here. And so this is a 1 positive ion. That means it lost 1 electron. So 5 plus 4 is 9, but you got to take away 1. A positive charge means it's lost an electron, so you have to take away 1. So that gives you 8 electrons. All right, so that's the valence electrons that you need to show in your picture. Okay, second step, connect everything with a single bond. Remember, hydrogen always goes on the outside. It's always on the outside. And so you connect everything with a single bond. All right, now, after that, you have to add lone pairs until the octet rule is satisfied. Remember, all atoms need 8, except hydrogen gets 2. Well, a bond, remember, is 2 electrons. So hydrogen is okay. And so all the hydrogens are okay with 1 bond. Now the nitrogen needs 8. Let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8. All right, so that has 8. Now let's count and see if it matches our total number that we added up in step 1. So 2, 4, 6, 8. That one's good. Now one thing that a lot of students forget with ions, and I put it in step 5 here, is they have to be put in brackets with a charge on the outside. And you got to remember to do that. If you don't do that, it's wrong. So put them in brackets and then put the charge on the outside. All right, that's an important thing to remember with ions. All right, let's try another one here. Okay, here I have the nitrate ion. So first of all, we'll add up the valence electrons. So nitrogen is in group 5A, it has 5. Oxygen is in group 6A, but there's 3 of them, so 6 times 3 is 18. And so you can add up these right here. That's going to equal 23. But the negative 1 minus charge means that it gained an electron, so you have to add 1 more electron. That gives you 24. Okay, step 2, connect everything with a single bond. Nitrogen, oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. Okay, normally the least electronegative atom, like I talked about on the first video, goes in the middle. And so nitrogen would go in the middle. Now, you need to satisfy the octet rule by adding lone pairs to everything. So oxygen gets 2, 4, 6, 8. So put 3 lone pairs around each oxygen to give each of them 8. Okay, so now everything has 8 around it except nitrogen, 2, 4, 6. It's going to need 8. Now, we're going to count the electrons in our drawing and see if it matches what we added up at the beginning. So let's count. There's 6, 12, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Uh-oh, we got 26. That's too many. All right, so what we have to do if we have too many electrons shown is we have to add a double bond to start with. So let's just pick, it doesn't really matter, they're all oxygen, so we'll just try this spot right here. So we'll add a double bond. After you add a double bond, you have to erase electrons to maintain the octet rule. And so right now, this oxygen has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It can only have 8 around it, so we're going to erase some electrons. And now it has 2, 4, 6, 8. That oxygen's good. Let's look at this nitrogen. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's too many, so we have to erase a lone pair to maintain 8. Now if you count, everything has 8 around it. Alright, so everything has the octet rule satisfied. Now we have to add up the total electrons in our picture to see if it matches 24. So we got 6, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Okay, it matches. And so once it matches, that means that we're done adding bonds and things like that. Now, step 5, the step that people tend to forget. On all ions, you have to put brackets on the outside and then put the brackets around and then put the charge on the outside. All right, let's do another one here. Okay, carbonate. So anyway, carbonate, add up the valence electrons. Step 1, carbon has 4, oxygen has 3, so that's going to equal 22 if you add those up. But then there's 2 more, so that's 24 electrons. So you take carbon and you surround it, put carbon in the middle. Carbon always goes in the middle. So surround it with 3 oxygens. Okay, now we're going to add lone pairs to make sure everything has 8 around it. So just satisfying the octet rule. Okay, everything has 8 around it. Now we're going to count to see if it equals 24. So 6, 12, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. Alright, so our picture showing 26, we can only have 24. Here's one secret. Adding a double bond, okay, will reduce the number of electrons by 2. So I only need to reduce by 2, and so if I needed to reduce by 4, I would have to add 2 double bonds probably. But in this case, it's only by 2. So we'll just pick an oxygen. We'll add a double bond. So let's just put it right there. All right. Now, after you add the double bond, you have to erase electrons to maintain the octet rule. So right now, this oxygen has 10 around it. We only need 8. So we'll erase a lone pair. Now, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oxygen's good. Carbon, however, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 is not. So we have to erase that lone pair. Now, if we count, hopefully that equals 24, what we started with. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. What did I do here? I think I counted too many. Let's start again. 6, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Yes, that matches. All right. So once you get done with that, once the number of electrons match the valence electrons that you added up in step 1, you're done, except for ions. You need to put them in brackets and then put the charge on the outside. Okay, let's do one last one here. Okay, NO2 1 minus. All right, so step number 1, add up the valence electrons. This has 5 in the nitrogen. Okay, the oxygen has 6, but there's 2 of them, so that's 12. So that's going to be 17, but the negative 1 means you have to add 1 more, so that's 18 electrons. Okay, nitrogen's going to go in the middle, connect it with a single bond, add lone pair so everything has the octet rule satisfied. Okay, then you count to see if it equals 18. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. All right, we have 20, but we can only show 18. We got to reduce by 2, so adding 1 double bond will do that. And so you add a double bond, then you need to erase lone pairs to maintain the octet rule. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Erase a lone pair there. Nitrogen 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's 2 too many, so we erase a lone pair there. Then count to see if it equals 18. 6, 12, 14, 16. Let's see, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Yes, that equals that. Okay, since nitrite is an ion, you have to put it in brackets and put the charge on the outside. All right, I think that's it for doing ions. So that's it.